Test 1 2 3. One, two, three.
Batting second, center fielder number 4, Jason Conley. Batting third will be right fielder number 6, Mari Yupsi. Batting fourth, pitcher number 17, Peyton Schroeder. Batting fifth will be your catcher number 8, Drew Bostic. Batting sixth, number 24, first baseman Matthew Reynolds. Batting seventh, number 9, third baseman Michael Betts. Batting eighth this evening, playing second base, number 12, Max Bradshaw. And batting ninth, shortstop, number 3, Jack Jeffers. Time to play the game.
All right, leading it off for the Cardinals here, Zach Moorhead, Camden Fairview versus Magnolia again tonight here from the Magnolia Panther ball field. And second pitch in for a strike, evens the count at 1 strike to Zach Moorhead. And that pitch high and away. And that pitch in for a strike. Makes the count now 2 strikes. And Zach hits that one back up the middle, and it's through for a base hit right past the pitcher for the Panthers and into center field between, really right over the bag, and Zach has a leadoff single for the Cardinals. Dason Conley now the batter for the Cardinals. Titus Nelson on the mound for the Panthers. Behind the plate, Jack Wade Stevens. Nelson kicks, delivers. That ball is hit, rolls through, and that ball is going to be hit into right field. Zach Moorhead makes it over to third, and Dason Conley in at second. So back-to-back hits for the Cardinals here to start the game off. Mariuzzi to the plate now for the Cardinals. Runners at second and third for the Cardinals. No outs. We're in the top of the first inning. And that pitch in for a strike. No balls, 1 strike now to Mariuzzi. And that one fouled back into the net. Mariuzzi in the hole now. No balls and 2 strikes to Titus Nelson. And that pitch on the outside, Mari leaves it there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Mari fouls that one back out of play. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. Nelson kicks, delivers. Mari hits that one over the head of the first baseman, but he leaps up, snags it out of the air for there at first for the Panthers. Snags it out of the air, and that is 1 out in the inning. Peyton Schroeder going to be doing the pitching for the Cardinals this evening. He is at the plate now, 2 aboard for the Cardinals. And that pitch outside, 1 ball, no strikes to Peyton Schroeder. And Peyton fouls that one up and out of play, evens the count at 1-1 now. We're in the top of the first. Cardinals with 1 out, 2 men aboard. Dason Conley down at second. Zach Moorhead over at third base. Peyton Schroeder at the plate. Drew Bostic to follow Schroeder here in the top of the first. A 1 ball, 1 strike count. Nelson kicks, delivers that one high and away, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Two-one count. Nelson's got the sign. He kicks and delivers, and Peyton Schroeder hits that one And it is dropped in left field. Zach Moorhead on his way home. He slides in head first to home and scores the first run of the game. And they're saying that he caught that, and wow. Okay, I thought he dropped it, never caught it, but apparently they're going to say he caught it. Zach Moorhead tags up, scores on the sac fly by Peyton Schroeder. Drew Bostic at the plate now for the Cardinals. Runner at second is Dason Conley. 2 outs in the inning. That pitch high in the zone for ball one. And Drew fouls that one back into the screen, evens the count 1 ball and 1 strike. One nothing ball game, top of the first inning. Drew Bostic hits that one hard, and that's going to be down in center field for a base hit. Dason Conley comes around and he scores, and that's a base hit, RBI single for Drew Bostic. That makes the count 2-0 now in favor of the Cardinals. Ben McKinney is going to come in and courtesy run for Drew Bostic. Ben McKinney now at first base. Matthew Reynolds playing first base tonight himself. He is at the plate. Cardinals lead it 2-0. 2 outs here, top of the first inning. And that pitch into Matthew Reynolds for strike one. And that pitch outside. Matthew leaves it there. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 away. We're in the top of the first inning. Cardinals lead it 2-0. Ben McKinney at first base, courtesy running for Drew Bostic. And Matthew Reynolds swings through that off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Reynolds. Second base. Count now 2 balls and 2 strikes on Matthew Reynolds. And Matthew check swings that one, fouls it over to the Magnolia dugout. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ben McKinney down at second now for the Cardinals. And that pitch high in the zone makes the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. All right, payoff pitch coming from Titus Nelson. And that one's outside. And Matthew Reynolds is going to get a free trip down to first base. And that brings Michael Betts to the plate for the Cardinals. Two to nothing early here. Cardinals jump out on top of the Panthers. Top of the first inning, 2 away. And Michael Betts is your batter. Second base, Ben McKinney. First base, Matthew Reynolds. The runners for the Cardinals. Pitch from Nelson, that's low, and Ben McKinney heads down to third base, and he gets in there, slides in safe under the tag, and the Cardinals now with runners at second and third. Matthew Reynolds takes second on the steal as well. And that pitch high, and that makes the count to Michael Betts. 2 balls and no strikes. And going to have timeout on the field. The Magnolia coach going to have a meeting on the mound. Infield comes in, and they're going to talk about it here for a minute. Top of the first inning, Cardinals ahead 2-0. All right, Michael Betts at the mound in the zone, and the count now to Michael Betts. 3 balls and no strikes. Max Bradshaw would be next for the Cardinals. Betts to first base on back-to-back walks by Titus Nelson. Max Bradshaw to the plate now. 2 away, bases full of Cardinals. And that pitch in for strike 1. Cardinals with a couple of hits. A couple of runs scored here early. And a base hit here for Max Bradshaw would score 1, maybe 2 more for the Cards. Max in the hole, though, 0-2 to Titus Nelson. And that pitch high in the zone. Above the hands, Max leaves it up there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Michael Betts out at first. Matthew Reynolds at second. Ben McKinney at third. And Cards leave the bases loaded, but they get a couple across on a couple of hits. 2 runs on 3 hits. No error to the Magnolia half of the first inning. All right, Jackson Touch to lead it off for the Magnolia Panthers here in the bottom of the first inning. Cardinals jumped out on top here in the top of the first. They lead it 2-0. Peyton Schroeder on the mound for the Cardinals. Drew Bostic behind the plate. Your battery for today for the Cardinals. And first pitch from Schroeder, kicks, delivers, and that's in for strike 1. Schroeder kicks, delivers, and that one hits Touch in the knee, off the knee, and to the backstop, and that's going to send touch down to first base on the hit by pitch. Dalen Glass now to the plate for the Panthers. All right, Jackson touch down at first base. Dalen Glass at the plate, no outs. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Cardinals lead the Panthers 2-0. And that pitch fouled back by Glass. No balls and one strike now to Dalen Glass. All right, Peyton Schroeder looks in. He's got the sign he was looking for from Drew Bostic. Schroeder kicks, delivers that pitch high and away. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. A 1-1 count to Dalen Glass. And to Glass. Magnolia with their leadoff man on first base. He was hit by a pitch. Dalen Glass up to the plate now with a 2-ball, 1 strike count. And the pitch from Schroeder is hit into. All right, Braden Sanchez, the shortstop for the Panthers, to the plate. Jackson Touch out there at first base for the Panthers. And Schroeder's got the sign he is looking for. He's going to throw over, run Touch back to first base. And Jackson Touch back in plenty of time. 1 away in the inning. Cardinals lead the Panthers 2-0. We're in the bottom of the first. Pitch from Schroeder stays up high. Sanchez wanted to pull the trigger, but he was able to hold back. Count now is 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch from Schroeder swung through and missed, and the count now 1 ball and 1 strike. DJ Marshall, the first baseman for the Panthers, waits on deck. 1 away. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Cardinals lead the Panthers 2-0. And Schroeder's going to throw back over and close there at first base. A little bit of hesitation on his part almost cost the Panthers a base runner there. 1-1 count to Sanchez. Schroeder going to throw over again. Here comes the pitch from Schroeder. Popped up on the right side. Mariuzzi over into foul territory, but it's going to be just over the fence. A 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Braden Sanchez. If Mariuzzi would have had about another foot, I think he would have caught that one, but it was just over the fence in right. All right, the 1-2 pitch from Schroeder, and he's going to throw back over, run Touch back again to first base. Count remains 1-2. Pitch from Schroeder is in, and it is hit hard down the third base line. past a diving Michael Betts and fielded pretty quickly there in left field by Zach Moorhead. He gets it back in, and Touch holds up at second. Braden Sanchez on with a single. DJ Marshall, your batter now for Magnolia. One away in the inning. Runners at first and second for the Panthers. Sanchez down at first base. Jackson Touch out at second. Peyton Schroeder comes set, and he is going to kick and deliver, and that pitch in for a strike to DJ Marshall. No ball. And that pitch hit high in the air. Mari Utsi is having trouble finding it. Sun has got to be beaten down out there in right field. And DJ Marshall on with what I believe will be scored as a base hit. I think Mari lost that in the sun. It's pretty bright coming in his direction. That loads the bases for the Panthers, and Walker Carter to the plate. And that pitch just missed the strike zone there, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. One away. Cardinals lead it 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. Cardinals playing in on the grass a little, trying to get that force out at home. And long fly ball, but it's going to be in foul territory down the left foul line there. 1 ball and 1 strike to Walker Carter. Pitch from Schroeder on the way, and that one stays up in the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Walker Carter. Magnolia Panthers with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the first inning. And 1 out. Cardinals trying to get out of what could turn out to be a mess if they don't get some outs here pretty quick. And that one, again, stays up in the zone. That looked like a pretty good pitch. Schroeder trying to throw strikes here, let the defense work for him. That one misses again, and that's going to be ball 4. And that scores a run for the Panthers. All right, the DH Carter Chambliss at the plate for the Panthers. The bases remain loaded. Score is now Camden Fairview 2, Magnolia 1. Here in the bottom of the first inning, 1 away. And that is a hard hit ground ball over to second. Max Bradshaw fields it and throws it over to Jack Jeffus for the force out. Jack stumbles coming across the bag, not able to relay the throw over to first. But that did score another run for the Panthers and evens the score up here at 2-2. Jack Wade Stevens, the catcher for the Panthers, at the plate now. Runners at the corners for the Panthers. And that first pitch swing hits that one Foul down the left field line. No balls and one strike to Jack Wade Stevens. Tie ball game, bottom of the first inning. Magnolia with a runner in scoring position and a man at first base, 2 outs. And that ball hit hard to left field, and that's going to be down for another base hit for the Panthers. Turner Alston now to the plate. Runners at first and second for Magnolia. They lead it now 3-2. And squares the bunt up in the air and behind into the net behind the plate for strike one. No balls, one strike to the batter, Titus Nelson. I'm sorry, Turner Alston. Titus Nelson waits on deck for the Panthers. No balls, one strike, 2 away. Panthers lead it 3-2. And that pitch in for a strike. Austin in the hole. Now, no balls, 2 strikes. 2 away. Cardinals trying to get out of it right here with no more damage. They trail 3-2, bottom of the first. Peyton Schroeder kicks, delivers, and that one stays high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Schroeder going to turn and throw to second base. Max Bradshaw applying the tag. Stevens back to the bag in plenty of time. And again, going to throw back, and that one off the glove of Max Bradshaw, but retrieved out there in shallow center by the shortstop, Jack Jeffus. A 1 ball, 2 strike count. Turner Alston at the plate, 2 away. We're in the bottom of the first inning here from Magnolia. Pitch is chopped up the middle and fielded by Jack Jeffus, but nowhere to go with it, and everybody is safe, and that loads the bases for Titus Nelson. And that pitch in for a strike, breaking pitch from Schroeder for strike one. And that one fouled back, and Nelson in the hole, 0-2. One more strike here, and Schroeder can get out of a jam here in the bottom of the first inning, get out of this with no more damage. Magnolia has scored 3 runs on 3 hits here in the bottom of the first inning. Here comes the pitch, and it's fouled off over the Magnolia dugout. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Oh, Schroeder. And it is Magnolia leads it. All right, that was a walk there issued by Dason Conley. Again, missed a couple of batters there. Cardinals with 2 outs in the inning. Using an iPad to stream the game, and it's sitting out here in the sun, and it overheated and shut us down. Used the freezer in the concession stand, got her cooled down, so we are back with you here. Dason Conley is at first base. Mari Utzi with a no ball, one strike count at the plate, 2 away in the top of the second inning. And Mari fouls that one back for an 0-2 count. Struck out. Hard hit baseball right back to Titus Nelson, and he just reached out and grabbed it to save his life. And the Cardinals go up, three down here in the top of the second inning. minute. All right, Jackson Touch back to the plate for the Panthers to lead it off here in the top of the second inning. Panthers lead the Cardinals 3-2. Touch was hit by a pitch in the first inning. Going to be a base hit on a bunt down the third base line for Jackson Touch. Dalen Glass, your batter now for the Panthers, flew out to center field in the first inning. Jackson Touch at first, Glass showing bunt. Now he pulls it back and swings through that off-speed pitch. The bottom fell out of it there. No balls, one strike to Dalen Glass. Bottom of the second, Panthers lead 3-2. No outs here in the inning. And that one popped up in the air on the right side. Matthew Reynolds is under it in foul territory for the catch in the first out of the inning. Braden Sanchez, your batter now. He hit a shot down the third base line back in the first inning. Jackson Touch, your runner at first for the Panthers. Sanchez thinks about it and lays off an inside pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. And that pitch chopped over to Jack Jeffers. Fields throws and gets the force lead runner there at second base for out number 2. All right, DJ Marshall, base hit to right field in the first inning. Mariucci lost it in the sun and the swirling wind there, and it fell in front of him for a base hit. And first pitch to Marshall in for a strike. Bottom of the second inning, Cardinals trail the Panthers 3-2. DJ Marshall at the plate for the Panthers. The 0-1 pitch on the way, and that one is a little low and inside. Evens the count up, 1 ball, 1 strike. And that one chopped over foul down the third base line, and the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes to DJ Marshall. One ball, 2 strikes to DJ Marshall, 2 away in the inning. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and Marshall drives that one into right center field, and that's going to go all the way to the fence. Mariucci picks it up and comes into second base, but Braden Sanchez comes all the way around from first base and scores for the Panthers. All right, Walker Carter to the plate now for Magnolia. He walked back in the first inning, but the bases were loaded. Got him an RBI on the walk. First pitch swings through it, fouls it into the glove of the catcher for strike number one. DJ Marshall down at second base for the Panthers. They lead it 4-2 now over the Cardinals here, bottom of the second inning. That pitch just outside the strike zone, and the count is 1-1 strike. One count, two away here to Walker Carter, and that one high and away runs the count to 2-1 strike. Two one count, and that one in the dirt, blocked by Drew Bostic to keep it out in front. Count goes to 3-1 now. And that one in for a strike. Full count now to Walker Carter. Two away here in the bottom of the second inning. Panthers with a run in the inning. They lead it 4-2. Payoff pitch from Schroeder, and it is hit over the head of Max Bradshaw. Going to be a base hit into right field, and DJ Marshall comes across to score. Panthers lead it now 5-2 here in the bottom of the second inning. Carter Chambliss, the DH, at the plate for the Panthers. First pitch at the letters in for strike one on Chambliss. Hit into a fielder's choice. Got an RBI out of it back in the first inning. And Schroeder going to throw over and run Carter back. No balls, one strike to Chambliss. And he fouls that one back in the screen. Schroeder ahead in the count, 0-2. Schroeder comes set, kicks, delivers, and that's for a ball. And Walker Carter throw down to second just a tad late there. Shaw and Walker Carter is out, and that one just missed. Evens the count up to 2-2. Two balls, two strikes, two outs. Bottom of the second inning. And the pitch is swung through and missed for strike number three and the final out of the inning. Magnolia with a couple of runs on three hits. They leave one aboard here, and we're headed to the top of the third inning. Magnolia leads it 5-2. All right, Peyton Schroeder to lead it off the top of the third inning for the Cardinals. He had a sac fly RBI in the first inning. Here, 5-2. Cardinals looking to try to close the gap here. That pitch outside, ball one to Peyton Schroeder. Schroeder, Bostic, and Bradshaw due up in the inning, and he swings at that one. It's hit into center field high in the air, and he's over for the catch and the first out of the inning. Drew Bostic at the plate now for the Cardinals. Drew with an RBI single out to center field in the first inning. First pitch in for strike one to Drew Bostic. And Drew hits that one in the air. It's going to be in the infield, caught by the second baseman over by the bag for out number two. 2 up and 2 down for the Cardinals here in the third inning. Matthew Reynolds walked back in the first inning. See if he can get on base, keep it going for the Cardinals. And I said Bradshaw. It's Reynolds, not Bradshaw. Swings, hits that one high in the air, and the pitcher, Nelson, is under it for out number three. 3 up, 3 down for the Cardinals there in the top of the third inning. All right, Michael Betts on the mound now for the Cardinals. Mariuzzi moves over to third base. Looks like Herman Gill maybe out there in right field.
Number 11, Jack Stevens.
All right, Jack Wade Stevens to lead it off here for Magnolia. Bottom of the third inning, Panthers lead the Cardinals 5-2. And first pitch from Michael Betts in for strike one. Wind picking up here at Panther Stadium in Magnolia. It's been swirling a little bit. We could see it high in there. It's getting down to field level now. Kicking up a little dust. Time asked for and granted by Jack Wade Stevens. This thing's fine. 1-1 pitch and way up high. 2 balls, 1 strike to Jack Wade Stevens. That one down low. 3 balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Panthers leading it here 5-2. Stevens, Austin, Nelson due up for the Panthers. That pitch in the dirt, and Jack Wade's going to go down to first on the walk to lead off the bottom of the 3rd for the Panthers. Tucker Bogus going to come in and run for Jack Wade. And that pitch in for strike 1 to Austin. Austin with a single back in the 1st inning. No outs here. Bottom of the 3rd, Panthers with the lead 5-2. And he swings through that off-speed pitch and throw down to first base on the pick. And Bogus going around to 3rd on the E2 there. Off balance throw there. Drew tried to snap him down there at first base. He had a big lead and passed Matthew Reynolds and allowed Bogus to make it over to 3rd base. No outs. Runner now at 3rd base for the Panthers. And Austin drives that one's going to be a base hit into left field. All the way, hits the bottom of the wall, and he's digging, and he got him at 3rd base. Nice cutoff throw there, and did get him at 3rd base. Titus Nelson, your batter for the Panthers. And that pitch, a little inside. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 away in the inning. 6-2, the score. Panthers leading the Cardinals in the bottom of the 3rd. That pitch in. Fastball on the corner, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Michael Betts with the sign. He is going to deliver. That one is in for strike 2, and that runs the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes to Titus Nelson. And that one outside, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Titus Nelson. Two-two pitch there by Drew Bostic. Rolls over a little bit. I think that one might have caught Drew under the mask there. Full count to Titus Nelson. Panthers with a run across here in the inning on a shot to left field by Turner Austin. He was digging for third, though, and thrown out on the throw back into the infield at third base, but did get the RBI on the play. Magnolia 6-2 now over the Cardinals. And Nelson fouls that one back and out of play. Count remains 3-2 strikes. Three-two pitch. Michael Betts comes set. And the delivery fouled back again, out of play. Count remains 3-2 to Titus Nelson. Jackson Touch on deck for the Panthers. One out in the inning. 3-2 pitch to Titus Nelson. And that one's high and away, and Nelson's going to get the bag on a walk here in the bottom of the third inning. Courtesy running for the pitcher, Browning down there now at first base. Jackson Touch hit by a pitch and bunted his way on. He squared the bunt. Already he's going to pull back, and that pitch outside. No ball, or 1 ball, no strikes. One 0 pitch. Michael Betts going to throw back over to first base. Titus Nelson, or I'm sorry, Browning, running for Nelson back ahead of the tag. And the runner goes. Drew Bostic throws down, and ball just on the wrong side of the plate there. And Browning in with a stolen base. 2 balls, no strike count to Jackson Touch. Panthers lead at 6-2, bottom of the third inning here in Magnolia. One away in the bottom of the inning. And that pitch in for strike. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Jackson Touch. Browning, your runner at second base there for the Panthers. Jack Jeffers creeps up behind the bag. That pitch hit hard into left field and back into the infield quickly. Fielded there by number 1, Zach Moorhead. That puts runners at the corners. Dalen Glass fouled out over on the first base side back in the second inning and flew out to center field in the first inning. One away, bottom of the third inning. Panthers leading the Cardinals 6-2. And the pitch stays high. 1 ball, no strikes. Braden Sanchez will follow Glass. And that pitch hit into center field, and that's going to be an RBI there for Sanchez. I'm sorry, for Glass. All right, Sanchez, your hitter, and Drew Bostic going to go out and talk with Michael Betts. For the Panthers, score is now 7-2. We're in the bottom of the third inning, one away. Panthers with runners at first and second base. Michael Betts on the hill for the Cardinals. And that pitch just misses the zone. 1 ball, no strikes to Sanchez. Here comes the pitch by Betts. Curveball in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Sanchez. DJ Marshall, Magnolia leading Camden Fairview 7-2 here at Panther Stadium. Michael Betts kicks, delivers, and that one is chopped over to third base over the top of the glove of Mariuzzi. Got leather on it. He leaped, tried to get it stopped, and just couldn't bring it down. Nice effort, and I think that'll be scored as a base hit. Loads the bases again for the Panda left center field. Back in the second inning. He had a base hit in the first inning as well. That one high in the zone. 1 ball, no strikes. Michael Betts with the sign. He is going to come set. And the delivery. Curveball in, strike. 1 ball, 1 strike now to DJ Marshall. Walker Carter on deck for the Panthers. And that one fouled off the end of the bat. 1-2 now the count to DJ Marshall. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. Bases loaded with Panthers. And that pitch just missed. Nice looking pitch there from Michael Betts. Just missed the zone. 2-2 count to DJ Marshall. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Michael Betts. That one's high. Marshall thought about full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. One away here. Bottom of the third inning. Panthers with the bases loaded, and they lead it 7-2. And that pitch high, and that's going to walk in a run for the Panthers. Walker Carter to the plate for the Panthers. And Coach Todd Schroeder going to go out, bring the infield into the mound, and talk about a little bit of strategy here. Cardinals down 8-2. They've got 2 outs. They need one more before this thing gets ugly for them here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. All right, umpire breaks the mound visit up out there. Walker Carter, he is walked back in the 1st inning. The bases were loaded in. It scored a run. Singled back in the 2nd to right field. Scored a run there too. So Carter with the chance here to break things out for the Panthers. Cardinals trying to get out of this thing and get the bats rolling here in the top of the 4th inning. Scores Camden Fairview trails the Magnolia Panthers 8-2 here, bottom of the 3rd inning. Two-0 count. Eight to two, your score. Bottom of the 3rd. Bases loaded with Panthers. Here comes the pitch from Michael Betts. That one is low and away, and the count is 3-0 now to Walker Carter. 3-0 pitch, and that one misses high, and that's going to be back-to-back walks with the bases loaded. And I believe we're going to have a pitching change here in the bottom of the 3rd. Coach Austin May heads to the mound and going to have a pitching change here. Cardinals trail the Panthers 9-2. All right, pitching for the Cardinals now, number 12, Max Bradshaw. Carter Chambliss at the plate for the Panthers. And first pitch from Bradshaw in a good spot, but missed inside. 1 ball and no strikes. That pitch finds the strike zone. Herman Gill moves out to right field. Mariuzzi. Oh, Herman Gill goes to second. Nice snag by. Nice job there. Nice snag by Matthew Reynolds there at first base. Makes the throw home to Drew Bostic for the force at home to save the run. All right, Jack Wade Stevens back up for the Panthers here. He is the 10th batter of the inning. Panthers lead it 9-2. And that pitch in from Max Bradshaw for a strike. Bottom of the third inning, 2 away now. Max Bradshaw on for Michael Betts. That pitch misses high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Max Bradshaw kicks, delivers, and that one's going to be hit right at Michael Betts over at third for the final out. All right, that's the end of the third inning. Panthers with a big inning there. They scored 3 more runs on 3 hits. They lead it now 9-2.
For the Cardinals, number 9, Michael Betts.
What's up, coach?
That's going to bring up number 12, Max Bradshaw.
Do what I need to do right now. If I next back, go be right in that ball. I'm gonna hit him one time. He's got to be swinging too slow. It's hard. Oh, she's hard. But they've been walking too anyway. I'm like, nah, baby, you got to swing it to speak it better. When you come on around, she's got a big girl for you. Maybe she got a hormone. She got that ain't no hormone.
It's a couple years
Now batting, number 3, Jack Jeffers.
played on Ocean. They be
She gave the game off game today. She was over.
Them the one they came back and beat because the girl he off the head. They had a pick.
Titus.
She gonna look at me like,
All right, Turner Austin to lead it off for the Panthers here, bottom of the fourth inning. Panthers in control, 9-2 here. Cardinals need to get 3 outs here in a hurry and get back. And in right field, Mariuzzi turning for the Panthers. And looks like going to have a pinch hitter for Titus Nelson. Number 3, Mason Browning. First pitch to Browning. Misses. Time called by the home plate umpire. Turner Austin out at second base there with a leadoff double. Hit the wall out there in right field. And that pitch outside, 2 balls, no strikes to Mason Browning. Max Bradshaw kicks, delivers, and that pitch must have missed just outside. Looked good. Up and down. Must have been just outside, and the count is 3-0 now to Mason Browning. 3-0 pitch misses outside, and down to first base on the walk goes Browning. All right, Jackson Touch back to the plate. 3 for 3 on the evening. Well, He was hit by a pitch, two for two there, and Max Bradshaw loses the grip on the ball, and he was trying to throw over to first base, lost the grip on it. It rolled back to second base and allows the runner down to third. All right, runners at the corners for Magnolia, no outs. Magnolia leads it now 9-2 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Jackson Touch at the plate. Pitch is outside. 1-0 now to Jackson Touch. Max Bradshaw throwing over to first base. Browning back in plenty of time there. No outs in the inning. 1 ball count to Jackson Touch. And that pitch in for a strike. Browning going to go down on the fake throw there by Drew Bostic. Puts runners at second and third now with no outs in the bottom of the fourth inning. 1-1 count to Jackson Touch. Bryce under it for the catch and tagging up and scoring a run. So Touch going to get an RBI on the sac fly to right field. 1 away here in the fourth. Glass with a single his last time up to center field. And that pitch misses inside. Good looking pitch. One 1-0 count to Glass. Pitch is, that one hits him. And again, puts runners at the corners for the Panthers. Braden Sanchez at the plate. Throw was going to be cut off there by the shortstop. Throw down trying to draw the runner home. Didn't get handled out there and bounces into the outfield. That's going to score a couple of runs. And it's in the bottom of the fourth. And that pitch in for a strike to Sanchez. And that one driven to left field. Zach Moorhead dives for it, can't get to it, and that's going to bounce to the wall. Scores another run for the Panthers, and Sanchez is going to hold up at second base. DJ Marshall to the plate for the Panthers. 12-2 now is the score. That pitch stays up in the zone. 1 ball, no strikes. Cardinals pitchers just having trouble finding the strike zone, and when they do, Magnolia hitters are putting them where they're not at. And two 2-0 count. That pitch bounces away from the catcher to the backstop, allows Sanchez down to third. One away here, bottom of the fourth inning. Magnolia in control, 12-2. DJ Marshall at the plate, 2-0 count on him. Sanchez down at third, and that pitch finds the strike zone. 2 balls and 1 strike now. Cardinals just got to gain their composure here and get the outs. And that pitch in for a strike now. 2-2 count to DJ Marshall. One away in the inning. Walker Carter will see the plate. And chopped. Foul ball. Count remains 2-2. Bradshaw, kick and delivery, foul back, out of play. Count still 2-2, one away. Bottom of the fourth, Magnolia in control, 12-2 at this point. And Marshall going to be hit by the pitch. That puts runners at the corners for Magnolia. Walker Carter back to the plate. Bottom of the fourth inning, 12-2, one away. Walker Carter at the plate, that one inside. 1 ball, no strikes. All right, here comes the 1-0 pitch. And inside, 2-0 now to Walker Carter. And Carter swings, hits that one there. Herman Gill under it at second base for the catch and the second out of the inning. All right, Anderson in to hit for Carter Chambliss. The bottom of the fourth, Magnolia again with another big inning. And that one outside, 3-0 now to Anderson. And that one misses and loads the bases for the Panthers. And time called, Coach Austin May going to make a trip out to the mound. All right, Coach Austin May out to the mound to wheel Max Bradshaw back in, and Gage Clover is going to be the batter for the Panthers. Bradshaw kicks in the delivery outside for ball one. Bases loaded. 2 away here, bottom of the 4th inning. And that pitch in for a strike. And fouled back out of play by Clover. A 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two away, bottom of the 4th. The 1-2 pitch. Well, Mac's going to step off. And now he's ready. Kicks, delivers. That one misses. Runs the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 4th, Magnolia ahead 12-2. And the 2-2 pitch. And that misses low. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 away. The bases are loaded, so the runners are going to be on the move here. And here is the pitch. And misses outside for the walk. And Coach Austin May out to the mound. And Max Bradshaw is done for this outing. All right, Jack Jefferson in relief here. In 2 away, bottom of the 4th inning, 13-2 now. Magnolia ahead of the Cardinals. And first pitch from Jeffers misses for ball 1. And swings, hits that one into right field, and Dason Conley over from center to make the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. 2 hits got the Panthers 5 runs in that inning. We're headed to the top of the 5th inning. Magnolia in control, 13-2. All right, Zach Moorhead to lead it off for the Cardinals. Here in the top of the 5th, they got some work to do if they want to claw their way back into this one. And first pitch to Zach Moorhead, up and away for ball 1. And that pitch in for a strike. Turner Austin, your pitcher now for the Panthers. 1-1 count to Zach Moorhead. That one in for strike 2. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Zach swings through that one for the strikeout and the first out of the inning. Dason Conley up for the Cardinals. It would have been Moorhead, Conley, and Utsey due up in the inning. Utsey on deck. He would be followed by Schroeder. And that pitch outside, 1-0 now to Dason Conley. And that pitch low and away, 2 balls and no strikes to Dason Conley. It goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 away here, top of the 5th. Cardinals going to have to score some runs if they want to keep going here in the game. Two-one pitch, and that one inside. Count is now 3 balls and 1 strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. And that one inside, and Conley gets the free trip down to first, his second walk of the night. And that brings Mari Utsey to the plate. Herman Gill on deck in place of Peyton Schroeder. He'll be next. And that pitch past the catcher, and Dason Conley's going to go on down to second base on the pass ball there. One ball and no strikes. One away here, top of the fifth inning. Magnolia leading the game 13-2. Here's the kick in delivery, and that's outside. 2-0 is your count. And that pitch hit off the fist, and it is doubled up. Caught by the shortstop, and the tag put on Dason Conley. And that's going to be the ball game. Cardinals are going to lose this one to Magnolia 13-2.